What's the crack, everybody? I listen to the Discus Lariat Collective Podcast. I'm your host, Warren, here with Daryl. And yeah, today, just have a few things to talk about, I suppose, in wrestling. I suppose we could touch on Keith Lee and his monstrous debut for AEW. Another thing that we were chatting about just there before we came on was the likes of rosters, like what makes AEW feel must-see compared to WWE right now. And the likes of like title pictures, stuff like that. Like I would just say if you were to unify belts, it was a free up anybody then in the mid card and such. But yeah, suppose we'll just jump into it. So what do you want to talk about first then? What we go with?
The belts for a start. Like, do you think it's going to be a good idea if they join two of them together? If Lesnar wins and he has the belt and Roman, do you think it's a good idea doing that?
I don't know, to be honest. Like with the likes of obviously two main shows, a lot of wrestlers already not getting a look in. A few of the bigger ones right now in terms of like the likes of Ali, Mustafa Ali, looking for his release, not getting it granted to him, sitting there now. He actually tweeted earlier, and said that here earlier. Tweeted earlier saying they'll see us all in about 2.5 years. That's sad. That's a sad situation to be in. Knows he's not going to get on the TV. Asked for his release and they said no. Like, that's shocking. The likes of that, even the likes of like T-Bar and Mace and stuff. I know like the Retribution kind of folded, and for some reason them two lads are still using them monikers and this, that, and the other. But they're not really doing much either. Like, you see them on the main event every now and then, and do you know what I mean? Even that lad that they're kind of building up to now, Veer. Like that. I have never seen anyone getting this many kind of vignettes or promo kind of work put into them before.
They're holding out for Saudi Arabia. He'll appear at Saudi Arabia. That's it,
yeah. But it's just mad as well because like he's huge. He kind of fits the WWE mold as well, the size of him and stuff. And he's like, from what I've seen of him, like, because he's had a few matches already. He's always quick, yeah, for a big man. Like he actually looks the part. Like, I'll give him that. He actually does. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with him. But there's like rumors now there's nothing for him. They have no plan anymore. I was like, how can you change that quickly? Honest to God, like, what sours in the back of your head that's like, oh yeah, Veer, world champ, push him to the moon, and then overnight, like, oh, don't know about this Veer now. Like, how does that happen? Like, how does that honestly happen? Especially if you're pumping that much money to push that vignette out every week.
But do you think it's not like the networks that are like, no, hold out, I don't want him, like, say it's Fox or whatever. Who's wrong again?
It was on Sci-Fi the past few weeks. I noticed that.
Yeah.
But
so like,
USA,
is it them? USA, that's it. Yeah. Are they saying no? We don't. He's not exactly what we need. He's not what we want on the TV now.
Yeah.
And it's a bigger picture than what we think. Like, Vince is holding it back because everything gets pinned on him. He's obviously, to us, it looks like that's it. It ends there with Vince. But it's obviously not. Like, he has to answer to, like, if ratings aren't going right, he has to answer for it. And then obviously trickles down then through the pipeline. Like, is it the fact that Fox or USA or whoever it is are saying, no, he's not really what we want now. Just keep on putting it off for another bit, extend it out. And then it's obviously going to get to the stage and like they had that cyber hacker guy or whatever it was, like, are they going to keep on doing stuff like that?
Yeah.
And then fans are going to lose their interest and then they're going to drop it. Or it's going to get to a stage where, look, we can't keep on doing this. Just drop it. And then that's another talent wasted.
Yeah. That's a good show. Actually, I never really thought of that. But it makes sense because especially like consistently, even on like when, what was it, Raw went to Sci-Fi, I think the past 2 weeks, I think, because of the Winter Olympics or something like that. They've gone to Sci-Fi and they're still consistently getting the normal rating of like 1.8 million and stuff like that. So I'm sure, the TV executives are like, yeah, this is pretty good. Keep it as it is, exactly as it is. Do not change nothing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, being around this long, the WWE, of course, is going to play it safe. Do you know what I mean? They don't have anything to lose or to gain, really, from changing up. So, yeah, it makes sense, I suppose. Yeah, maybe they're thinking to themselves, no, we want Roman on SmackDown. He's the big guy. We want, say, Lesnar on Raw, Lashley on Raw. Shit like that. They probably, they have their tried and tested. Keep it as that, which is a shame for the likes of Veer if they don't have anything for him. Which I'm shocked because, like, I don't know, it's just mad because, like, as I like whatever about the like the coming soon, this and the other. He does seem like he seems like a cool guy, like in general, like on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. But he looks good in the ring. Do you know what I mean? And again, you're never gonna know.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a Maga or something like that. Is that their kind of hope for him to be?
Yeah.
Very
are they
similar
gonna?
to Maga?
Yeah. Are they gonna have him come in as a big beast and just wreck people? Are they gonna come in and have him like maybe like the way? Do you remember when they changed Braun Strowman up a bit and they had him throwing a drop kick, and you're kind of shocked that such a big fella doing? You're like, oh. I mean, they could have, I suppose, like, because this, like, they're not just like wrestlers. Do you know what I mean? And that's the biggest misconception I think with people nowadays. Like, if you look back at Hogan's a wrestler. Do you know what I mean? The Iron Sheik is a wrestler. These guys are wrestlers or whatever. But then you look at like sports entertainers or something like that, like the Shawn Michaels, guaranteed a whopper match. And then like nowadays, AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, these guys, that's what you want to watch. Do you know what I mean? So if you have someone as big and burly and strong as, say, Veer, and then his finish as a shooting star press, or he does it once in a blue moon, you're kind of like, oh my God, this child, I need to watch him every week. Do you know what I mean? Or he does something that kind of like captures you in. And that's what you want with any wrestler as well, I suppose. But I just think it's mad. But I don't see how, the unification stuff, the unification of the titles is going to help anybody really. I really don't. Sure, I think they did this with Seth Rollins, didn't they, a few years ago? He had the two belts.
Yeah.
And it's one of them things they never defended them separately, which is kind of it. Like if they unified them and defended them separately, I think it'd be a cool idea. Like the way in like UFC, you might see a champ go up and down a weight class. I think Amanda Nunes did it most recently. She lost one of her belts, but she still has the other one. Shit like that. Do you know what I mean? I think that'd be cool. Especially because I can't see them getting rid of the Universal title. They've put a lot of stock into it over the past, say, 4 or 5 years, I think, anyway. It doesn't obviously have the prestige of the WWE title, but they're never going to get rid of that one. Like, that's their bread and butter. Like, but yeah, I can't really see.
I don't think they will get rid of that, and then like maybe further down the line where they turn around and like they do something similar to what AEW are doing, and like have the Fox World Heavyweight Championship or something like that.
Oh, I don't know actually. Yeah, that's another weird thing actually as well with the likes of AEW. Like when I first seen them do the TNT Championship, I was like, this is stupid. Straight away, I just like because again, I just think it's weird. It's like do you remember Zack Ryder had the Internet Championship on WWE for us, stuff like that. Like I just think it's silly. But again though, if you are pleasing your network, it'll come back. Like it'll come back around full circle for you. So maybe it is a good idea. Like, you know what I mean? And plus, like if you have a good enough scene behind it, like if you have a good enough title picture, fucking call it whatever you want. Do you know what I mean? Call it the Dick and Ball Championship. I don't care. You know what I mean? If you have like 5 great lads like in that title picture, why not? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what it's called. Yeah, you're guaranteed good matches. So I don't know. I think it'd be mad after we turn around and be like, oh yeah, here's the Fox Championship. But then again, I said that about AEW, so it probably wouldn't be mad. But I'm just thinking like, oh, that sounds mad. Like
the thing that's sticking out to me is that one, if they do make it as just one unified championship, it's opening up obviously your megastar likes of Roman Reigns if he wins it, or Lesnar constantly jumping between two of your brands, which is going to get ratings regardless. But then the guys who are constantly going for it, you're not going to have that other person on each brand going for the belt. So one of them is going to be dropping down and going for either the US belt or going for the Intercontinental belt. To me, that'll make them more prestige. That more bigger talent who should be going for the World Heavyweight Championship, if they're not involved in the picture, they are actually going for that belt, and they're not just staying idle waiting for a few months, that they're still active. And then that's obviously bringing the prestige of the IC title and the US title, which needs to happen. Because like as you said, like it's just before this, like Nakamura, like it's what 8 months defended it twice, and like spoiler alert, he's after losing it to Sami Zayn. It'll be on next week's SmackDown, but like it's mad. Like, and to me, like if they do unify both championships, another part of that is because they don't feel like they have strong enough champions there, like big kind of people, the likes of what it would have been back in the day. Like if Hogan was gone, you'd have Flair, or you'd have Piper in WCW, or you'd have Sting or Goldberg or Nash. There were so many people. But the likes of WWE, it's not like that anymore. Like your two main guys who anybody would tune into. You're not going to tune into Bobby Lashley. As you said, like Bobby Lashley was a transitional champion. Yeah, you will tune into him. Don't get me wrong. He's great. He's probably actually one of the better ones. But the guys that you're going to tune into to have that belt, week in, week out, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And they haven't got a whole lot. Brock Lesnar is not going to be around. After a year, very surprised after that if he's going to be around. For, he'd be shooting in and out. And then the likes of Reigns, like we said, look, we can all see he's going to be going Hollywood style. And I'd say once he has his match with The Rock, if that ever happens, he'd be gone. So who are your next two guys? Who are your next two guys to carry 2 championships on each brand? There's not. AJ's not going to be around for long. Randy Orton's not going to be around for long. You're going to have Rollins and Kevin Owens maybe, to me, that really stand out. Other than that, you're going to have 2 guys, and then who do they drop the belts?
Yeah.
So what's the best thing to do? Make it one. So to me, they're not confident on their future until the likes of NXT 2.0 build them fucking stars, and fingers crossed. Because if that doesn't work out, WWE are in a whole lot of fucking trouble in the next few years.
Yeah, and that's what was it, like the likes of like Bobby Lashley and stuff, as you said. It's a shame because, as you said, he's one of the better champions. He's one of the better wrestlers on like Raw. And who else was it? Like Big E, there's another one. They were both
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, they were.
You're not tuning into them. You're not tuning in. I did not tune in when it was in the pandemic. I didn't. I did now and again, but I wasn't tuning in.
It was hard to watch, in fairness. Yeah. It was hard to watch during the pandemic and stuff like that. But even when I was watching it, like Bobby Lashley, I was saying to you earlier, Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business, that was like one of, if not my favorite thing on Raw for a long time. And I was like, deadly. And it was like a pure stranglehold on the championships and stuff like that. It was deadly. It felt like Evolution almost a bit. But it was cool. Like it was different because it hadn't been done in so long. They do it, and you're like, yeah, cool. Lashley, dominant champ, and yeah, he has a few title defenses, stuff like that. But he just felt that right when Lesnar rocks in, he's gonna drop that belt. It's almost like an unwritten rule now. Do you know what I mean? If you don't sell 1 million t-shirts, or if you're not pushed to them, and this thing, they're pushed in a way. Don't get me wrong, like they are. They obviously they put the title on Big E, they put the title on Lashley, they put the title on Drew, and that's fine. That's 3 guys out of how many on the roster? Do you know what I mean? And as you said, over different time periods, you had a lot of guys that could carry the belt because they were pushed. They were constantly in your face. And then when they do it nowadays, and I get fans are fickle, don't get me wrong, I'm one of them half the time. I'll be watching me, don't want to see this, I don't want to see that. And everyone's like that. But at the same time, though, since when have they ever listened to the fans? Do you know what I mean? They don't. Do you know what I mean? It what lines the pockets, that's all it is. So, as I said to you before we came on, if they know for a fact, without a shadow of doubt, if they put the title on Lesnar and have him show up on SmackDown and they're guaranteed 2 billion viewers, they'll do it. Do you know what I mean? Oh. And whether it's Big E who has to suffer for it, Lashley has to suffer for it, McIntyre, anyone, they'll do that. Like if you look back to like 2016 and stuff like that, 2017, sorry, AJ, he was a top guy. He felt like a top guy, which was shocking because I didn't think when he came in, I was expecting him to be like, there's the TNA guy. Yeah. Because Vince had, WWE as a whole have a horrible track record of people coming in and from other companies, and they're like, oh yeah, there's a little shine there. Like, I mean, oh yeah, the Royal Rumble, cool. That's it. Do you know what I mean? But he, like AJ, you can't really deny him. And the same with Big E, you can't actually deny Big E. The chap is so good. And he's actually pretty good with Mike as well. Like, I mean, he's deadly. And again, it's a shame because I do think he'll get another moment in the sun. And I hope it's a longer reign. I hope he has title defenses out his arse. And I hope he's the next big guy. I'd love to see it. And even Lashley getting the nod against Lesnar and stuff like that. Like, they're big matches. But again, it just feels like there's only one outcome. It's Lesnar. It's Reigns. It's Goldberg. Do you know what I mean? And as I said to you before we came on, if Hogan comes back for one night only, it wouldn't shock me if they put the belt on him somehow. Do you know what I mean? Just to sell a few t-shirts, limited edition t-shirts, or everyone, Hogan's had to win the title again. And I get it, it's money, but that's all it is. But it's just a shame.
to me, like the way they're releasing talent and stuff like that. Yeah, look, it's a business. End up, you understand that. But like, to me, Vince obviously sees the bigger picture. He's way fucking smarter than us. They see the bigger picture. To me, yeah, they're upping and selling. It's probably actually going to bleed into my next question, but like, does he not see the future? Does he really not see the future? Like the way it was? Because once, as I said, them guys leave and they all kind of touch on olderness. There's no one there. Who's your shirt selling guys that are going to come up once all these guys say in 3 years? It's not that long away. Like if you think of it, the pandemic and stuff was like what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen? Like, is Braun Breaker going to go up? Yeah, he'll sell you t-shirts more than likely. But who else is going to come up that's going to sell you t-shirts? Likes of Roman Reigns. Who's your next guy in your eyes? Who would be your next guy that you can think of that's going to sell t-shirts like Roman Reigns, Lesnar, Randy Orton, Cena?
Yeah, it's weird because the only one that I can think of that is at that level would be AJ. That's it. And again,
that's what I mean.
He's going to be
taken on.
Yeah.
And that's the worrying thing. Like, if we're seeing that now, they have to be seeing that as a business point of view. And like, is that where Vince is saying, look, this is kind of run its ship now. It's going to be still WWE, and that's what I'm saying. Like, seeing Shane after being let go, and that has to be a kick in the face to Triple H. And even with Karrion Kross after coming out, he said in an interview, like, with Triple H, he is the greatest guy. You know, he. Could you see Triple H like after like saying I'd say 3-5 years, it's gone, it's done. Someone else is going to own it, whether it's Disney or whoever is going to own it. Yeah. And that's where I could see the likes of Triple H and the likes of them guys, Shawn Michaels and stuff like that. They start investing. And I know we spoke about The Rock maybe buying something. I can see them now starting up a promotion very similar to AEW. And then obviously all the contacts that they have, like Saudi Arabia and stuff like that. There's no reason why they couldn't get funded. And then start their own one, start from scratch again.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, I can't see them starting their own one, but I can see them. Like, I'm genuinely shocked that they don't have much more of a hands-on with WWE. And I get it's Vince's baby and stuff like that. But like, how did you let them run NXT, such a good like wrestling show, week in, week out, great pay-per-views? Do you know what I mean? And it's just so entertaining. Like, it actually is. And even NXT 2.0 now, I know it's completely different and stuff, and it does feel different. And it took me a while to even get into it. I'm liking it now. Like, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, he's fucking whopper as well. Grayson Waller as well. For some reason, he just has that. You want to hate him. Do you know what I mean? You want to hate him. Yeah. He plays that character so well. And there's loads of them. Like, all the lads that were in that fucking cage match, essentially, the War Games. All the new NXT 2.0 lads, even the likes of Solo Sikoa or whatever his name is, one of the Uso brothers, well, related to him. Yeah. Who else? Boa. I love Boa. I think he's deadly. I know the gimmick that he has is kind of weird. He's like possessed half the time he's not. It's a bit stupid, but they have a pretty good women's division as well. But like, how did you not see what Triple H was doing and the lads were doing there, and then not even give them like a morsel, a little bit on the main roster? Let them try it. Do you know what I mean? You have fucking main event that goes on for an hour that nobody ever watches. Give them that. See what they can do there. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to just test the waters, keep testing the waters then. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure Triple H every fucking day when he was sitting there and he's seeing the likes of, say, when Finn Balor was, say, booked pretty bad, or Nakamura with the IC title that fucking didn't defend it. Obviously, nobody's taking it out on the wrestlers. Why would you? It's not their fault. That's like saying, like, oh, my job is to shovel shit. That I have to do it. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to give out to me for it. You're not going to be like, oh, lucky shit. It's so. Do you know what I mean? It pays me bills. That's what they're doing. And I get it. But at the same time, though, I'm sure they were sitting there like, Jesus Christ. And I'm sure Triple H would have loved to have his hands all over Raw, all over SmackDown. But at the same time, though, he knows, obviously, it's a business. It's this, that, and the other. It's Vince's baby. I'm sure he would have been like, give me an hour on main event. Do you know what I mean? Give me that.
Yeah.
Give me 205 Live before you sacked everyone. Do you know what I mean? 205 Live now isn't a cruiserweight show. Do you know what I mean? There's heavyweights on it. There's all sorts on it now. Do you know what I mean? And again, it's nobody even gives a shit about it. And it's a shame because there's probably some whopper matches I don't give a shit about it, and that says a lot because someone could send me a fucking match now if they wanted to do, like, oh, here, check this match out, I'll watch it. Do you know what I mean? You could send me 205 live matches and I'll probably be like, oh, daily, Jesus, I didn't even know they were that good. I didn't even know that match happened because I don't care about it. You know what I mean? Because it was marketed as a cruiserweight show and then it wasn't. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's mad, like seeing NXT, the black and gold NXT, how good it was, and that talent. And I know a lot of them are indie guys and this, that, and the other, and Vince isn't, as we were saying, doesn't have the best track record with that. But obviously, like, it was so good. Give Triple H a shot, give someone else a shot. Do you know what I mean? Even for an hour. They had no problem doing Raw Underground. Remember that?
Yeah.
That fucking fight club. Like, what? How the fuck? How'd you let that fly? I don't know. But that goes into the thing, though. What we were saying earlier about AEW feeling must-see and Raw and SmackDown not. Do you know what I mean? And again, I said it, Raw from in-ring standpoint has had some very good matches lately. The matches are like fairly easy to watch, but at the same time, you don't really have to. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to watch Raw until, like, I could watch, say, maybe the Raw before Elimination Chamber, or I could watch the Raw before WrestleMania, and you're kind of caught up.
Yeah.
Because of 47 minutes of replays. You know what I mean? But that's one thing. But like, we were like, I'll let you say the thing actually about Keith Lee and his debut and what you were saying about, like, how you can pay him with any of the lads on that roster.
Yeah, like, it's just mad. Like, when, like we were saying with WWE, like, there's certain talent, like, you're kind of trying to pair it together. Like, oh, I'd like to see him with him, or this person with them. Like, it's very, very hard. It's very hard. But if you're looking at the likes of the AEW roster now, like, Keith Lee came in, whopper match. Absolute fucking whopper match in his first one. But now you're like, oh my God, imagine him against Pac. Imagine him against Penta. Imagine him against Sammy Guevara. Like, that's some of them guys. Then you have like Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Like, the list goes on. And the matches that they can do. And then you have the likes of the storyline between Malachi Black and Penta now at the moment. There's no belt involved. Nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. Like, Penta had, like, I think it was about a 30-second kind of video there recently. Like, he's got the Penta Dark or whatever.
Yeah.
He dug his mask up. Like, that was, fuck me. No belt, no nothing needed. And that's what wrestling should be. You shouldn't need to tune into a 2-hour show or a 3-hour show to see what's going on around the belt. And that's the thing with the AEW roster. It's that stacked that I will literally be happy out with seeing anybody versus anybody, whether it's the women's division, the tag division, the mid card, or TNT titles, or whatever you want to call it, and then the top tier. Like, you're literally tuning in for fucking anything. Where Raw is, as I said, it's gone from me, I'm not wasting 2 hours. I'm not wasting 3 hours watching fucking shows. Then I went to watching highlights for half an hour of it broken down. And now it's gone to the point where I'm not even watching that. I'm going to WWE's YouTube page and I'm clicking on the videos, and then I'm like, what thumbnail sticks out to me? Roman Reigns is there. I click on that. And I'm lucky if I watch maybe 3 clips. That'll probably total up to about 10 minutes. And like, that's saying a lot. And then I'm itching, absolute itching, whether it's Rampage or Dynamite. And you're like, wait, I need to see who's fighting on this. Yeah. And half the time the belt's not even involved.
Yeah.
It could be just a promo with CM Punk, Darby Allin, Moxley, all them people, again, link all them straight into Keith Lee.
Yeah.
Andrade. Like, it's just crazy. And to me, at the moment, AEW stars are way, way bigger than WWE's right now. Yeah, WWE, don't get me wrong, they have AJ, they have Orton, they do have top talent. I'm not saying that they don't. But the depth of how far AEW's talent goes down and the caliber of it, how high they are. And like, you know, if that roster was in WWE, I would be like, the future is fucking grand in my company. Not worrying about it. Because all these guys that are coming up are going to make me fucking money.
Yeah.
But
100%. Yeah. Like, if you look at them 4 pillars of AEW, they always go on about, like, Sammy, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, and MJF, you can see in the next 3 to 5 years they can carry any belt. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a slow burn. Don't get me wrong. Like, they're around 3 years now, AEW, but they're around 3 years, and MJF is in CM Punk's fourth big rivalry since he come back. Do you know what I mean? That's a testament to MJF more than anything. Do you know what I mean? Then you look at Jungle Boy. Every time he's in the ring, he just seems to get better. You could watch him tonight, and you can watch him tomorrow, and he'd be better. It's literally the definition of he doesn't stop learning. He doesn't stop like trying something new. Do you know what I mean? It just comes off so well. Darby Allin, obviously, yeah, a lot of people like kind of compare him to like Jeff Hardy and stuff like that. Like, he's a bit of a mad cunt, whatever, but great to watch. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, out of the four, he'd probably be my bottom one, not in a bad way or anything like that, but I just think the other lads are more polished already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like Sammy as well, like he's having like high profile matches like that. Like everyone's been saying that cutter against Cody Rhodes off the ladder, whatever. It's the edge spear to Jeff Hardy. That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's the highlight reel move, and it was to a T. And again, yeah, the kids, he could have had the worst look and watched it. He could have missed it. He could have done that, or they could have had to redo it. And you're like, regardless, it came off well. Leave it at that. Looks great. He's capable of having these great matches, and I know, like, I don't take a word of like when people go mad about stuff and they're like, oh yeah, my company this, my company that, I only watch this, I only watch that. That's fine. Like, whatever. Don't expect me to do that. Do you know what I mean? Or when people are like, I only watch 5-star rated Dave Meltzer matches, fine. Yeah, missing out. If you wanna say that's fine, like, do you know what I mean? But I will say one thing: when you step back and as I said, like, I'm not one to listen, or what would you say, take Dave Meltzer's word as gospel, because everything's subjective, and I think that's Dave Meltzer would say that to your face as well if you were chatting to him. You're like, oh, I didn't agree with that. He'd be like, so why would he care if we disagree with a 5-star rating or a 6-star or 7-star rating? It's all subjective.
Nobody's gonna agree on the exact same thing.
No. But that's the thing. Like, I seen Chris Van Daniels being interviewed by Chris Van Vliet, and he says to him, TNA had one Dave Meltzer 5-star rated match, the triple threat: AJ, Samoa Joe, Chris Van Daniels at Unbreakable 05. And then he goes, already in 3 years, AEW have 13 5-star matches. And it's funny because you could say, like, oh no, that one's not, or that one is, or that's fine, but they have very good matches. Do you know what I mean? And you could put them on Dynamite, you could put them on Rampage. I was saying to you a few minutes ago, I watched Rampage last night. You had Britt Baker on it. You had a tag team title match between fucking Jurassic Express and Gun Club, the Ass Boys. But that was the daily match as well. And the lads were kind of dressed up with Shawn Michaels, which is pretty cool, but that's me being a fan of Shawn Michaels or whatever. But like, that was a class match. And they got a good bit of time. And then the opener match, the Young Bucks first match in a while against Roppongi Vice. So, like, that's even if they weren't even advertised and you just seen them, they were just like, oh yeah, the Young Bucks come out and they're gonna have a tag match. It's, yeah, cool, I'll watch that. Yeah, and you'll get excited watching it. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, you might not like the Young Bucks that much, but they're gonna entertain you, whether you like them or not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's one thing that I will give to AEW. They entertain more times than not. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, like, I suppose you could say, like, WWE, like the big bad wolf, they've been around now the block. They don't need to kind of go out our wheelhouse anymore, but I would like them to every now and then. Just even like once or twice every now and then. Give me something I can kind of, like, as they're saying, sink your teeth into. Like, if you can imagine Keith Lee and Isaiah Cassidy in his debut. Like, that's a testament to Isaiah Cassidy as well. Chap was fucking deadly in the match. Do you know what I mean? Again,
I forgot one thing. Yeah. Miro. I'd love to see Miro and fucking Keely.
Oh yeah, let's fucking do it. Run at each other for a half an hour. Just do that, bang into each other. That's what I mean. You'd watch it because it's it's going to be entertaining. Like, Keith Lee in NXT was fucking phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? And then on the main roster, obviously, it didn't translate. Whether it was Vince, whether it was anybody else, whatever happened. It's in the past now. Whether they want to be like, oh fuck, we shot ourselves in the foot with letting him go, or whether, like, yeah, fuck him, don't care. He's off now, making his mark in a new company, and make his mark, he will. Because he's fucking deadly. Yeah, I love him.
And that's the good thing about AEW. Everybody's just like, they're bringing all the indies, all these WWE guys or X, whatever. Yeah. But not one of them are the champions.
Yeah. And even if they were, would you rather not see them wrestle? Like, they're good. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's not like they're getting rid of like, James Ellsworth now is the AEW World Champion. Do you know what I mean? It's not like that. These are guys who've been around the fucking world. You know what I mean? And they're top draw wrestlers. And like the likes of, say, Miro hasn't had a great run in AEW so far. Andrade, for some bizarre reason, was brought in with a lot of fanfare, hasn't been doing much. Do you know what I mean? And I can understand frustrations here, there, and everywhere. And then the likes of other talent are suffering from it as well, because there's a lot of incomings now. So there will be a lot of outgoings.
Will, yeah.
Yeah, like even in that interview with Chris
Daniels.
Yeah, he was saying it. He was like, I'd love to be on AEW next week, but unfortunately, I'm a victim of circumstance here. That happens. And he was like, in any company, that'll happen. And he was like, if someone's putting like arses in seats, they're going to be on the TV.
Yeah.
It's common sense, like, really. But let's see how it goes.
And that's the thing with AEW. I think it was SK Wrestling, I think it was, that posted up something about Tony Khan. Do we think he's doing the right thing or whatever like that? He's going to be putting people or whatever. But I don't think he is. He's given everybody he can a chance. He's given everyone a chance.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's giving them a contract. He's letting them run it out. If they are not progressing, or when they're in the ring, they're not gathering fans. Like they have a way more freedom than anywhere else. Way more freedom.
Yeah.
So if they're not, that's on them.
Yeah.
If they can't pull it together, fans aren't drawn into them, and then your performance in the ring isn't polished, and then you have guys that are outside, or girls that are outside AEW wanting to come in, dying to come in, and their work has been polished and they're over somewhere else. But why wouldn't we let you go and bring somebody else in?
Yeah.
And give them a chance. And it's not to say, and Tony is the guy who you'll go away, do a bit of work, get better, and he'll definitely give you a chance coming back. 100%. Unless you fucking burn your bridges with him and just be an absolute knob. But even at that, he'd probably still give you a chance. But,
yeah. Like, look at McIntyre in WWE. Do you know what I mean? Came in as the chosen one.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Yeah. And he went off, came back, and he was given his opportunity. It took a long time, but he was giving it. Like, even WWE do give you your chance, but don't go off and bitch about it. Like, the likes of WWE, random. Like, the likes of Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, they would have been named putting people in seats. Yeah. Like, so that is bizarre. That is genuinely bizarre. But if AEW start letting people go, they're going to be letting people go that contracts have run out. They haven't been doing what they thought or hoping that they did. And you can't say they haven't got a chance. They've had chances, they just didn't. Like, they're obviously looking at social media and this, that, and the other, and they're obviously not drawn. So there's a reason for it. If the one thing I want to ask you with WWE before we go is if there's one person that's on the rosters there that hasn't had the World Championship, do you go, fuck, he would have been great. He would have been great if he got the title, or if he gets it. He'd be actually a proper star. Who would it be?
Damn. That's actually a hard question. I'm not gonna lie. And like, there's one guy that sticks out in my mind. We could be thinking about the same fella here, but there's one guy that sticks out in my mind, and every time he's in the ring, it's must watch. He's one of the workhorses of the company. Again, I don't know if they'll ever let him go, and what would you say, like, put the title on him, let's work through whatever kind of, what would you say, what would be the word? I can't, I'm literally drawing a blank on the word, but anyway, whatever your deficiencies are, let's work through it together, give you a bit of time. Let's see. I would say Cesaro. Again, when you put them together, Cesaro, one of the easily top 5 wrestlers on that roster, without a doubt. Easily one of the top 5 wrestlers of the roster. Roman Reigns, not so much, but Roman Reigns is up here because he's what would you say, more complete as a performer. Whereas, like, don't get me wrong, like, Cesaro, crazy technique, very, very few mistakes. What else do we have? Just great matches overall, great selling, great ring awareness, great psychology, all that. he might not have the natural charisma of a Roman Reigns. Do you know what I mean? Again, though, Roman Reigns actually doesn't have that natural charisma, I don't think, because he kind of suffered for a bit when they put the fucking world on his shoulders. Like, yeah, go. You're big. You're strong. You're beautiful. Go for it. And he was coming out suffering succotash and all that. That was rough. That was hard to watch. It was. I'm sitting there and I'm like, this man, please stop. Rip up that piece of paper before you go out with it. I was like, all he was short of doing was being like that. And I am Roman Reigns and I am going to be the world champion. Reading that was hand. That's all it felt like. I was like, oh, this is awful to watch. But look at him now, doing a lot better. If they did that with Cesaro, fucking fire away. And same, even the likes of Nakamura, he's had the title. I'm pretty sure he had the title. He's won the Royal Rumble, stuff like that. Finn Balor, again, these guys, like, I'd love to see them go on an absolute tear, but I just can't see it happening. Do you know what I mean? But Cesaro, I'd like to see if they just gave him a chance. Apart from that, though, someone who's kind of, if I can see them banging the title there and they're a draw, I actually can't think of one unless you're thinking of like Braun Breaker, maybe.
I think the time has passed now with this guy, but and he's polished already. Polished, but
I'm definitely not listening.
Just screwed him over. Bobby Roode.
Oh fuck yeah.
Bobby Roode, like him in Impact when he got his fucking chance, and the way he is, like, to me, he genuinely, if you wanted someone Triple H caliber to start pulling you forward again, when Triple H was starting to go back, it was Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
And the matches he could have had with AJ, Roman Reigns, any of them. And if no one that's listening to us has seen Bobby Roode, go back and look at his stuff at the end.
Yeah.
From tag team wrestling and then to his singles run. And my God, he is polished. Yeah. Absolutely polished. So, and I think they just, again, not their guy. That's exactly it. You get to jump over.
Yeah,
AJ was lucky, and I think that the second he hit, came out, AJ was like top of the food chain, like on the Indies and anywhere else. So when he came in, it was a no-brainer. But the likes of Bobby Roode, he didn't have that stardust as AJ. But like, if he was given it, that guy would have fucking drew you money big time, way more than Big E, Bobby Lashley, guaranteed he would have fucking pulled people over. He would have been your next Triple H guy.
I think you're right. Like, and as a heel as well, he's so good as a heel, and like, he's just like we were saying it earlier, like that kind of, you want to hate him. Like I was saying about Grayson Waller, you're kind of like, oh, fuck off from me, tell you, like, I just don't want to look at you. Do you know what I mean? But again, you're watching him. Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah. And he's the guy. Yeah, and he's the guy who could go to Dana face and go, yes.
Exactly. Yeah. You're just with him. And when he was in NXT, chap, oh my God, that glorious shit that was going on. It was music and everyone was singing it, chanting it, all sorts.
There you go.
Like, I remember, like, NXT came over here, and it was their first show in Ireland. And Bobby Roode came out. He didn't have the glorious team right that. He literally was signed, and then that tour happened. Pretty much, I think it was like within that week or 2 weeks or something. So he didn't have the glorious yoke on him. And he came out at that show, and it was in the Tree Arena, mind you. So, don't get me wrong, I don't think it sold out. I think it was maybe about 12,000. Either way, still a lot of people. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, Bobby Roode!" Like, people were literally like popping for this man, and he had just generic stock music, but he came out in the robe, and you're like, "Oh my God, that's the guy." And I remember seeing him in a way smaller place over here when TNA came over.
Yeah,
and people were, don't get me wrong, like, they were like the TNA fans, because it was very hardcore TNA fans that was at that show, because it was their first time ever out of America, I think. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, and they were only playing the National Stadium, which is like 2,000 capacity. Do you know what I mean? And I think because of their ring, they actually had to cut it to 1,500 or something, or 1,600. It was smaller, because they had the 6-sided ring. But like, stark difference, and I wouldn't mind. He was amazing in TNA, but then when he was with NXT, people were like, "What the fuck, Bobby Roode? Holy shit!" And he came out and he just had a whopper of a match as well, and you're like, yeah. And then he did the glorious yoke, that caught on like wildfire. That was like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't to the extent of the Yes movement.
Yeah,
it was pretty big though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, like you had people like on fucking Good Morning USA and all doing the glorious shit and all this, like the song playing. I was like, what? That's mad. And I remember when I was leaving here and going to Canada, Glenn, he did the glorious yoke and all. He was doing it on my land and when he was packing me back, he was like doing the camera, and then I was like, what the fuck? That kind of thing, the glorious bomb the people were doing, they were just looking at the camera and all, just nodding. It's like, this chap is over. And then he comes up to the main roster and it just, nah. Again, as you said, not our guy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then now he's with Dolph, and they don't get me wrong, they're actually a pretty good tag team, and they have.
Yeah, what's happening now though? Dolph's gone back down to NXT, so fingers crossed.
Please God with a bit of luck. Light a candle. Pray to Saint Anthony. But yeah, I suppose we'll stop chatting shit now. People bending the ear to people who are still listening to this. I'm sure half of them are half asleep now if they listen to this. So, oh jeez, what's it? I'm just gonna shout into the mic now. That's not gonna do wake everyone up. And now, yeah, and I was good crack chatting about that. We'll probably we should jump on and do like chat about Elimination Chamber or something. Talk about our favorite matches or something like that. You know what I mean? Or who would benefit if they did like a little dark horse winner? Because I think maybe Lesnar might win that title. Oh, win the Elimination Chamber, sorry. But it would be cool if they did something completely different, little swerve, someone getting attacked before they get into it. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? Edge did it to Kofi Kingston before. Absolutely battered the poor fella outside the ring. But you never know. We'll jump on and do something like that. But yeah, we'll call this one quits.
Not Monday. Won't be Monday.
Why, what's happening on Monday?
I'll be sitting. My missus pushing out a baby pal.
Oh, on Monday.
Yeah,
oh my
Monday.
God. Early congratulations.
Yeah, Valentine's. So yeah, no Space Mountain that night.
No Space Mountain that night, no. Oldest ride, longest line. Woo. But yeah, okay, we'll call it quits here. If I don't see it through the week, I'll see it through your window. No, but yeah, let us know how the miss gets on with the baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're live stream.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
People are like, sir, you can't be in here, sir. It's like the glorious music playing. But Bobby Roode. Yeah, we'll call this quits. If you're listening to this on Spotify, give us a rate because you can do that now. 5 stars. Yeah, boy Melter.
Dave Melter.
Yeah, he'd be creaming his jocks. Yeah. He'd be like, 5 stars. Tokyo Dome. We'll do that. Yeah, Spotify, give us a rate. Instagram, Discus Lariat Collective. Drop us a follow on there. Shoot us a message if you want. Tell us what we should talk about. Because half of the time we texting each other, be like, what do you want to talk about today?
All right about for Warren.
All right about, yeah. I'll write
give
stuff
me
on
ideas.
ODQ. Yeah, give me ideas because I am fucking drawing a blank. What else? There's a Twitter. The Discus Lariat. That's all me.
Yeah.
After hours, after dark. I sleep in a race car bed.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, so yeah, hit us up there anyway. And, yeah, we'll be back soon anyway. But yeah, thanks very much for listening. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon.